In this video we will cover how to use Blender to export VMD animations, how to change the name of the textures and fix the materials, as well as exporting the NLA tracks to Unity. Hi, welcome to this new video. Someone asked me in the last video if I could do a quick overview on what it's needed to port this to some game engines. I'm going to be using Unity. So again, you go back here to the download page, and when you're here, you can press this little arrow. Someone noted it on the forums, and then you can get access to the other characters as well. I'm going to be working with Ambo. So if you click there, it's going to allow you to download her. And once you download her, you want to go here into Blender, press N, go to the MMD Potpourri add-on, and then import the model Ambo, and this is the Ambo PMX. Now you're going to get this name with Japanese characters. You need to rename this, please. The texture folder also needs to be renamed. When you unpack this, everything will be in Japanese names. So please rename this. Of course, this is going to be the face, this is going to be the clothes. I call this the expressions, but this is more like the meme expressions. Copy these names, all right? So let's go up one level. Let's import the Ambo PMX. Make sure that all of this is checked as it is. Import the PMX. It's going to take just a second, and we're going to click now the armature. And in the armature, the next step, this is step 1. Step 2 is to import. Let's import a motion, and I sure need to locate a VMD dance file. This is a folder I created. Mr. Schiller, where do I get motion VMDs? You're going to come here into this page, and then you're going to come here and then download it. So you can see this is the VMD format. Download that. You're also going to get weird names like such. Please rename them. I'm going to be using this one, which is called Dance 4. This is going to be called Run Cycle, because I already did a test, so I know that this is the run cycle from that animation. It's the 86 KB weight. I'm going to copy that path, go back here, paste it, and then I'm going to find the run cycle. And let me lower the screen so I can see the import VMD. So again, import the model. We imported the model. Now we're going to import the motion. I got import the motion, and let's see how it plays. Press home while hovering over here, and then this will focus your entire timeline. So there you can see she's running. This is cool. Now I wanted to say something very important for all the animators out there. So you know how we have this little ticking clock right here, this chronometer? Well, this is intended to use as a second alternative timeline without leaving this timeline. It's like a testing purpose for your small actions. So let me show you how it works. Let's say I'm only interested from 15 to frame 25. I like this one. So I'm going to click the stopwatch, and then I'm going to say, please play this animation from 15 to 20 frames only. And guess what? You're going to have it right there by clicking this swatch. If you click it again, then you get your normal timeline. So this is just like a separate method to test your own animations when you're doing this kind of thing. So this is good. It's there. You have the animation. So click the stopwatch again. Now click play. You're going to get the entire thing playing back. Now it seems it's got a longer. As a matter of fact, 0. It's a T pose, but it gets through the run cycle in frame number 8. So it seems frame number 8 should be the correct start. And from there on, we're going to click play. Yep, it is. Look at that. She's running. Or at least we want to think that she is. Cool. So from here, we need to worry about the materials. Click the mesh. Now, if you click here, you're going to see that her entire thing, her entire textures are not available. That is because we switch the names. So come over here, press Shift F3, Shift F3, and now we need to rename the materials. Mr. Schiller, I don't know what is what. How do you know? Press N, select this material, press Tab, enter edit mode, and in edit mode you're going to see this character ready for identification on the materials. There's an add-on that will rename your materials automatically to English, but I do not want to cover that right now, but just wanted to let you know it exists. So in edit mode, you're going to get these additional buttons down here. And from there you can click on select, and now we see that this is eyebrows and eyelashes. Eyelashes. So let's name that. Alt A to unselect all. Click select. Now this is the face. F2, double click and then type face. This one, select. It's going to be the eyes. We know that. The eyes. Perfect. Alt A. As a matter of fact, let's make sure these are the eyes. Yes. And what about this? Select. This is the skin. Okay? Yeah. This is the skin. Alt A. Select. Again, this is the clothes. Alt A. Select. This is the hair. Alt A. Hair to unselect. Select on this one. This is the hair bow. Hair bow. Alt A. By the way, Genshin Impact is amazing. It's such huge hit. So, Mr. Chiller, I cannot identify where this thing is. Well, I got news for you. If you enter her head, you're going to see these little shapes that are the meme expressions. They are already there, ready to be scaled in animation. So let's uncheck that, and I'm going to be calling this meme expressions. Just because you can name it as you want. We do not have any more materials, so let's take care of this reconnecting materials. So the first one is going to be eyelashes. If you come here to the shader editor, which you can find right here, shader editor in object mode, then press period on numpad. It's going to focus all of the nodes available, and the first thing that we need to do is to retarget the texture itself. So this one is for the hair, and we can see the eyelashes as well. Okay, so we're going to replace the eyelashes that is over here. So we open the image, and in the MMD toon texture, we're going to target this texture, which is in PNG format. I don't know why when you unpack the textures, you get a toon PNG, but this one is targeting toon02 BMP. But this is the one that you need. So open that image, and sure enough, you have your eyes. Look at that. It's fantastic. It's working. The eyelashes plus the internal sclera. Face. Let's go for face. And you already know. Open here. Get the face. And toon02 BMP. It's going to target the other texture. So ambo, texture, toon BMP. Let's copy that. And open the image. Sure enough, so if you notice, the eyes properly are placed inside the hair texture. You can see that little yellow eyeball there. So click on that. Over here again, target the toon BMP, PNG, and there you have dynamic lighting. Oh my goodness, Mr. Schiller, she's so beautiful and it's reacting to light. Not quite. This light, it's a fake light. It will not react to physical lights, and I will explain that in just a little moment. Let's go for the skin. Open the skin. Select clothes because I can see her skin there. And over here, you can also target the toon PNG. Okay, I'm doing this manually, but expert users can just quickly select the model, come here into File, go to External Data, and then make all paths relative and make all paths absolute. So this is the way, or find missing files. This is the way you do this. But since the original nodes were targeting erroneous texture, you need to fix that directly at shader level. So that's why we're doing this one by one, hand by hand. So you can see the clothes have a different shader setup for the character, and this is something I've been explaining a lot. This one even has the MMD sphere, which is targeting MC3 PNG. Let's see if this MC3 PNG, which is this one. and that is going to give a generic ambience to the character. This is not the shading of the game, by the way. You do not get dynamic shading from the game engine. You need to recreate it here in Blender. So I bid you to check all of my courses about it with the Guilty Gear shading stylized shader. I'm sorry. And that is going to give you a good idea on how to arm a toon shader from beginning to end. And that is really the basis, because this MiHoYo games has a different style of shading, which I'll be addressing on the last part, 404 of the stylized Guilty Gear shaders. So this is the hair bow, which I'm sure it's going to be in the clothing. Please make sure that I'm targeting everything here in the video. I did not edit it or fast forward it, so you can understand where to plug what. You can put pause, you can go back, you can ask me in the comment section below. By the way, if you are up to this point and are following me, thank you very much for your support. And if you have any suggestions for me to cover on the videos, please let me know, and I'll be happy to answer every question you got. So now let's save this, and I'm going to be naming her as such. So there you have it. So I'm going to grab this little corner, and then I'm going to drag up, then I'm going to switch the editor type to a timeline. Click here and play back. So alright, so she's running. So alright, so you have your character ready. So now what's the next step? We want to take this into Unity with this only animation. And if you have been following closely my other animation tutorials, my other videos about the NLA, you can switch here, and you can see in the graph editor, if you select the armature, that the armature has the entire animations baked. That's why I open different windows. And select the armature, press tab, go into pose mode, and sure enough, when you select all of it, press A to select all, you can see all of the animations there. But they are using an F curve only animations. And you can store that animation in the NLA. I'm going to switch this window to a non-linear animation. That's what we call the NLA. Okay? And if you open this right here, and if you open this right here, you're going to see this track, and this track, and this track, and this track. Okay? The animation track is the one that we're interested in right now. Her animation is called Run Cycle Bone because we name it such. Mr. Schiller, where do I see or edit that? Let's open yet another window. Come here into the dope sheet, switch the dope sheet to the action editor, and sure enough, you will read all of the bone names right here, okay, which contain the animation. Of course, all of these are Japanese characters, so no need to worry about that. Now, what happens at the moment of exporting is that Blender automatically pushes down this entire animation, which is right here. This is the identification for this animation. This action is called Run Cycle Bone, and this is the name that it's going to receive in Unity. So I'm just going to leave this as Run Cycle because I like it so. And you can either push it down to the NLA because Blender will export from the NLA as well. But since it's running on frame 8, and then it's running all the way to frame 54, I bid you, please identify your cycles. This is going to be frame 8 to 54. That way you do not get confused when you're on Unity. So you have this, and it's ready. Mr. Schiller, what happens if I want to import another animation for her? You can, but this is going to go into advanced mode now because you need to clear or push down this animation into the NLA. So I'm going to copy this name. I'm going to click push down, and now it's down here in the NLA. This track is going to be called Run Cycle 8 to 54, which corresponds to this one right here. But Mr. Schiller, I see that this cycle has this beginning which I am not interested in bringing in. like I mentioned before, I just want to get you across one software to the other. You can get entire tutorials about this all over the internet. So this is how you clear your actions. And now if you want to import yet another action, you can do it so by, again, coming here, selecting your armature. And now let's import yet another action. Import. And I'm going to go with this one. I don't know what it does, so I'm just going to select it just the way I like. Going into extreme dangers. So I'm going to start on frame number 1. And then I'm going to play it back. I can see the two animations are mixing now because this one is active. So let me uncheck this so it will make inactive this track. So let's go back again. And it seems it's the same animation. I am not seeing any different whatsoever. I have the run cycle here and the dance bone here. So nothing different. But if you would have another file that you already know that it's a different file, this is how you'll do it. And then you will push it down again, and then you'll get a new cyclic file here. And then on Unity you can read these tracks individually. They will not be mixed on top of each other. They will be read individually. But that's not what we're here for. So let's click on this one, remove empty track, and you can leave this here. And also here on the NLA tracks, you're going to see that the run cycle and the NLA track that we just created is still there. If you click there and click delete, it will delete everything. So the right way to delete a stored animation for the NLA track is not from here from layers. It's not from here from view layers. You need to actually switch the outliner into Blender file. Because at the topmost level, the actions are stored. That's why you couldn't delete it from here. And as you can see here, we have scene action, which is the next one right here, and dance bone. This is the one that we are not interested in, so just delete that one. You can also delete this one. This was the empty track, and this is the only track that remains to be exported. So let's go back into view layer. Finally, we finish this entire process, and let's fix the materials. Okay, so let's join this, let's join this, let's join this, right click over this little line, right click over this one, and now I'm going to press Shift F3. I'm going to switch this here, and the only thing that Unity cares for, it's the principal shader. Whatever you have on principal shader, it's going to be picked up. This is principled BSDF. All you need to do is just to cut this line, put this into surface. Probably you're not seeing this. Principal shader, material output, surface, and this texture right here is the only one that is really important. So just connect that into the base color. So now this tree is the one that it's processing. Okay. So that's that, and that was done on the meme expressions. Too bad. Let's go for something that is meaningful. Let's do this on skin. Let's cut this line by using Control right mouse click, Shift A, principal shader. Connect the color to the base color and connect the material output to this one. I'm really doing this so you can see all of the things that you could do if you really want just one straight import export from Blender. There are other methods and other add-ons that will help you greatly to do this. I'm not going to cover those. I just want you to know that they exist and you should look for them. So the eyes are covered, skin is covered. Let's go for clothes, and again Shift A, principal shader, principal BSDF. I'm going to grab this and connect it to surface, while this texture is going to be directly to the base color. Then I have that already fixed. Please save your file often. Let's go for clothes, that's fixed. Let's go for the hair as well. So Mr. Schiller, if you wanted to export to Unity, why did you show us why did the MD exporter or materials connected? Because I wanted to show you the process, what is to be expected as normal. Most of the time people, when when people see these videos, they tell me, you know, I did this, but it did not work. I did that, but it did not work. All of the time, all of these tools are changing for the better. So if I don't show you where to go look, how are you going to find? Right, so meme expressions, check. Eyelashes, this one we need to define as well. But if you notice, eyelashes have an alpha texture. So where do you connect the alpha texture in the principal BSDF? Well, you have this one right here, the input alpha in the principal BSDF. See, that's why I told you Blender is far beyond industry standard. You just know where to look for your tools. So let's connect that, and I think it's this one. One of these texture has a transparency. I don't know which one. I think it's this one. Nope. But anyway, so we have our model here. It's fantastic, looking great. And now let's export this one. Let me uncheck the wireframe. It's so annoying. And we did the animation. It's living on the NLA track. So let's select all of this. Press B, box select. Just grab all of that. And now let's go to File, Export. We're going to export this as FBX. You can also export as GLTF, but I bid you to go using FBX. And now this is going to be let's call AMBO FBX, and the parameters to check are right here. Okay, so we're going to export the armature and the mesh. That's it. Press shift to multiple select this. And if you see down here, it says bake the action. It's going to create a single keyframe for every animation that you have in the timeline. So also, please export the NLA strips, all the actions, and key all the bones. Yes, so you do not need to move anything there. That is correct. You don't need to move anything here. Just I'm opening this so you can make sure that everything looks exactly the same on your side of the machine. Export FBX. And it's taking its time. It's going to export. And once it's done, you can switch to Unity. I'm going to copy the path. I'm here in Unity, and right now I'm going to go here into Assets, right click, Create, New Folder, AMBO, double click there, and now I'm going to just drag and drop my animated character. And the shader, the toon shader that I really strongly recommend, it's called Unity Chan Shader. I'm not going to cover that because that is too long. This video has been already too long, but just search Unity Chan for Unity. Of course, you're going to download the shader package. I very strongly recommend you to use the new URP system. If you click here, which is what we were interested in, and then you go into animation, you're going to see that right here, okay, is your animation file. So if you click play, sure enough, she's running. I'm not going to be talking about Unity because my intention is not to cover Unity, but rather how you work in Blender to export outside to Unity or to Unreal Engine and stuff. But the usual workflow includes that you import your model, you shade your model, then you assign an automatic rig or a generic rig in this case, and then apply these changes to the avatar so that it could be read. You can also click here so you can read all of the components that you have. As you can see, there are a lot of primitive shapes here because these are used for dynamic collisions. Okay, I did not go over that. But overall, you have your model now in Unity. You know how to read it from Blender, and of course, if you just put this over here, you're going to get your assets into the viewport. You need to turn around as such, so that the light will allow you to see. And if you open the prefab, you're going to see many of these things that you really do not need. What happened? Right here in the AMBO collection, you have a rigid body collection that is hidden. See that? If you open all of this, you'll see that all of these are used, all of these shapes, all of this geometry is used for collisions, and that's what we brought. But when we assigned the VMD, these collisions did not follow. So there is an entire process to correctly bring your model from Blender to Unity, but I hope this will give you the first steps and that you know where to click, what to look for, what the names are, how to completely change the material shaders, and also in a next video we will talk extensively on how to get dynamic shader, aka stylized shading techniques for this model here in Blender. So thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you will be notified when I upload another interesting video.